Welcome to the Discourse Analyzer AI Toolkit, where articles come alive. You're listening to the audio version of our article. For the full text and an interactive experience, check out the link in the description below. Interact with any selection using our AI assistant to enhance your understanding. Let's explore.
National unity in discourse analysis. Interactive assistant national unity refers to the sense of collective identity, solidarity, and cohesion among members of a nation. It is often invoked during times of crisis, celebration, or political transition, where the idea of a united nation becomes central to public discourse. In discourse analysis, the concept of national unity is explored to understand how language constructs and reinforces the idea of a shared national identity, how it is used to unify diverse groups, and how it reflects power dynamics within a country. Discourse analysis of national unity focuses on the linguistic strategies used to evoke solidarity, belonging, and patriotism, often in the context of nation building, governance, or social cohesion. By examining political speeches, media coverage, public campaigns, and social movements, discourse analysis reveals how language constructs the idea of a nation as a singular entity and how the boundaries of inclusion and exclusion are drawn. It also uncovers how national unity discourses are used to promote harmony, justify policies, or suppress dissent. Key features of national unity in discourse analysis. 1. Construction of a shared national identity. A key component of national unity is the construction of a shared national identity through language. Discourse analysis examines how this identity is framed and promoted, focusing on the symbols, values, and narratives that are emphasized to create a sense of belonging and collective purpose. Example: in political speeches, leaders may use phrases like, "We are one people, united under the flag of our nation," to evoke a sense of shared identity. Discourse analysis would explore how these expressions draw on national symbols, e.g., the flag, national anthem, and shared history to construct a unified national identity. 2. Us versus them framing. Discourses of national unity often rely on us versus them framing, where the nation is defined in opposition to external or internal others, who are seen as threats to unity. Discourse analysis investigates how language creates these distinctions and how they are used to reinforce national solidarity. Example: during conflicts, a leader might refer to our common enemy, framing the nation in contrast to an external adversary. Discourse analysis would explore how this language creates a dichotomy between the unified national and the foreign or internal them, reinforcing national unity by identifying a common threat. 3. Appeals to patriotism. Patriotic appeals are a central strategy in promoting national unity. Discourse analysis examines how language invokes national pride, loyalty, and duty to inspire collective action or support for the nation. Example: in the aftermath of a crisis, a political leader might use language such as, "Now, more than ever, we must stand together as a nation," appealing to patriotism and a sense of duty. Discourse analysis would investigate how these appeals to national pride are used to encourage unity and mobilize public support for recovery efforts. 4. Historical narratives. Historical narratives play a significant role in discourses of national unity, where shared history is used to legitimize the idea of a unified nation. Discourse analysis focuses on how historical events, figures, or myths are invoked to construct a sense of continuity and collective identity. Example: a national holiday speech might refer to a key historical event, such as a war for independence, using phrases like, "We remember the sacrifices of those who fought for our freedom," to create a sense of unity. Discourse analysis would explore how these historical references construct a narrative of shared struggle and triumph that binds the nation together. 5. Crisis and solidarity. In times of crisis, discourses of national unity are often intensified to foster solidarity and resilience. Discourse analysis examines how language frames crises, e.g., natural disasters, pandemics, as moments for collective action and how it positions unity as the solution to national challenges. Example: during the COVID-19 pandemic, government messaging might use phrases like, "We are in this together," to emphasize the importance of national solidarity. Discourse analysis would explore how this language encourages public compliance with health measures by framing the crisis as a shared struggle requiring collective action. 6. Inclusive versus exclusive unity. Discourses of national unity can be inclusive or exclusive, depending on how they define who belongs to the nation. Discourse analysis looks at how language includes or excludes certain groups, revealing how national unity can be a tool for both inclusion and marginalization. Example: a political leader might say, every citizen, regardless of race or religion, has a role in building this nation, using inclusive language to promote unity. Alternatively, phrases like, true patriots stand with us, might imply that dissenters or minorities are not fully part of the national community. Discourse analysis would examine how these linguistic choices either expand or limit the boundaries of national unity. 7. Narratives of diversity and unity. In diverse societies, national unity is often constructed through narratives that celebrate diversity while emphasizing commonalities. Discourse analysis investigates how language navigates the tension between acknowledging differences and promoting a unified national identity. Example: a politician might say, we are a nation of many cultures, but we are united by our shared values of democracy and freedom, using language that highlights both diversity and common identity. Discourse analysis would explore how this language balances recognition of cultural differences with the goal of fostering unity. Methods for analyzing national unity in discourse. 1. Critical discourse analysis, CDA. Critical discourse analysis, CDA, examines how language in discourses of national unity reflects power relations, ideologies, and social inequalities. CDA focuses on how unity discourses maintain or challenge existing power structures, often privileging certain groups while marginalizing others. Example: a CDA of political speeches during national elections might reveal how language like, only we can restore our nation to its former glory, reinforces exclusionary ideas of who belongs to the nation. The analysis would explore how this discourse aligns with nationalist ideologies and excludes certain racial, ethnic, or political groups from the vision of national unity. 2. Frame analysis. Frame analysis investigates how national unity is framed in public discourse, focusing on which aspects of unity are emphasized and how these frames influence public perception and behavior. Example: in discussions of national security, national unity might be framed as essential for protecting our way of life, linking unity to security and stability. Frame analysis would explore how this frame encourages public support for government policies that are framed as necessary for maintaining unity. 3. Rhetorical analysis. Rhetorical analysis examines how language is used to persuade and construct national unity through appeals to ethos, credibility, pathos, emotion, and logos, logic. This method looks at how leaders use language to evoke national pride, shared values, and collective responsibility. Example: a leader addressing the nation after a terrorist attack might use pathos by invoking the emotional trauma experienced by citizens, ethos by appealing to the nation's history of resilience, and logos by outlining a rational plan for recovery. Rhetorical analysis would explore how these strategies work together to strengthen national unity. 4. Narrative analysis. Narrative analysis looks at how stories of national unity are constructed in public discourse, focusing on how key events, figures, and symbols are used to create a coherent narrative of unity and identity. Example: in national holiday speeches, a leader might tell the story of the nation's founding, using language that emphasizes the courage of our ancestors who built this great nation. Narrative analysis would examine how this story constructs a sense of continuity and shared identity, reinforcing national unity. Examples of national unity in discourse analysis. Example 1. Political speeches during elections. In election campaigns, politicians often use language that emphasizes national unity to garner broad support. A candidate might say, I will be a president for all Americans, regardless of party affiliation, to promote unity across political divides. Discourse analysis would explore how this language seeks to transcend partisanship and create a sense of shared national purpose, even as political divisions remain. Example 2. Government messaging during a health crisis. During the COVID-19 pandemic, government messaging might emphasize phrases like, "We are fighting this virus together," to promote solidarity and compliance with public health measures. Discourse analysis would examine how this language constructs a narrative of collective responsibility and encourages citizens to see their actions as part of a larger national effort to overcome the crisis. Example 3. National holiday speeches. In speeches given during national holidays, leaders might use language like, "Today, We celebrate the strength of our nation and the values that bind us together, to evoke national pride and unity. Discourse analysis would explore how these speeches use historical references, national symbols, and shared values to construct a sense of collective identity and continuity. Example 4. Media coverage of national crises. In media coverage of national crises, such as natural disasters or terrorist attacks, headlines might focus on the nation coming together in solidarity, framing unity as the appropriate response. Discourse analysis would examine how this framing reinforces the idea that collective resilience is a core aspect of national identity, even as divisions may exist beneath the surface. Example 5. Social movements and calls for unity. Social movements may also invoke national unity to advocate for change. For example, civil rights leaders might use language like, "We fight not just for ourselves, but for the soul of this nation," to frame their cause as aligned with the broader national interest. Discourse analysis would explore how this language appeals to national unity to gain legitimacy and support for social justice. Challenges in analyzing national unity through discourse. 1. Inclusive versus exclusive unity. National unity discourses can be both inclusive and exclusive, depending on how they define who belongs to the nation. Discourse analysts must carefully navigate how these discourses promote inclusion for some groups while potentially marginalizing others. 2. Globalization and fragmentation. In an increasingly globalized world, national unity discourses often compete with global identities or local loyalties. Discourse analysts must consider how national unity is constructed in relation to broader global or regional dynamics. 3. Political manipulation. Discourses of national unity can be used for political manipulation, where calls for unity are used to suppress dissent or silence opposition. Discourse analysts must examine how unity is invoked and whether it genuinely promotes cohesion or is used to marginalize certain voices. Conclusion. National unity is a powerful and often contested concept in public discourse, used to construct collective identities, promote solidarity, and guide public behavior. Through discourse analysis, researchers can explore how language constructs the idea of a unified nation, how inclusivity or exclusivity is maintained, and how historical narratives, patriotic appeals, and crisis management reinforce or challenge national unity. Understanding how national unity is shaped through discourse is essential for analyzing political rhetoric, social cohesion, and the ways in which power and identity are negotiated within nations. Frequently asked questions. What is national unity in discourse analysis? National unity in discourse analysis refers to the exploration of how language is used to construct and reinforce the sense of collective identity, solidarity, and cohesion within a nation. It examines how linguistic strategies are employed to promote harmony, evoke patriotism, or justify policies. How is a shared national identity constructed through language? A shared national identity is constructed through language by using symbols, values, and narratives that evoke a sense of belonging and collective purpose. For example, phrases like, "We are one people," in political speeches or media coverage highlight common bonds and shared histories that foster unity. What role does us versus them framing play in discourses of national unity? Us versus them framing is used to define the nation in contrast to external or internal others, seen as threats. This framing strengthens solidarity by emphasizing differences and identifying a common enemy. Discourse analysis reveals how such language constructs boundaries of inclusion and exclusion, often reinforcing national cohesion at the cost of marginalizing certain groups. How do patriotic appeals influence public perception in times of crisis? Patriotic appeals evoke national pride and duty, inspiring collective action and unity, especially during crises. Language such as, "Now, more than ever, we must stand together," can mobilize public support and foster resilience. Discourse analysis examines how these appeals frame unity as essential for overcoming challenges. What is the significance of historical narratives in national unity discourse? Historical narratives are significant as they draw on shared memories to create a sense of continuity and identity. Leaders may reference pivotal events or figures, such as independence movements, to unite citizens under a common heritage. Discourse analysis explores how these narratives legitimize the idea of unity and evoke emotional connections. Can national unity discourse be both inclusive and exclusive? Yes, national unity discourse can include or exclude based on how it defines belonging. Inclusive language, such as, "Every citizen has a role," promotes unity among diverse groups. In contrast, exclusive language like, "True patriots stand with us," may marginalize dissenters or minorities. Discourse analysis reveals how these choices impact social cohesion. How does crisis communication emphasize national unity? In crises, discourse often emphasizes national unity to foster collective action and resilience. Phrases like, "We are in this together," frame crises as shared struggles requiring solidarity. Discourse analysis examines how this language influences public behavior and compliance with policies, positioning unity as a solution to collective challenges. What methods are used to analyze national unity in discourse? Critical discourse analysis, CDA, examines how language reflects power and ideologies related to unity. Frame analysis investigates how unity is framed in discourse, focusing on emphasized themes. Rhetorical analysis analyzes how appeals to ethos, pathos, and logos build unity. Narrative analysis studies how stories involving unity are constructed, emphasizing historical references and symbols. How do narratives of diversity and unity coexist in discourse? Narratives of diversity and unity coexist by acknowledging cultural differences while emphasizing shared values. Phrases like, "We are a nation of many cultures, united by democracy," balance recognition of diversity with the aim of fostering unity. Discourse analysis explores how these narratives maintain cohesion in pluralistic societies. What challenges do discourse analysts face when studying national unity? Challenges include balancing the analysis of inclusive versus exclusive unity, addressing political manipulation where calls for unity may suppress dissent, and considering globalization's impact on national discourses. Analysts must be aware of how unity is used both as a genuine tool for cohesion and as a means of marginalization.